All right, that's the Mamas, the Papas, and Creaky Alley. I was just looking at some old pictures the other day of Trader Dan's, and right there at the end of Creaky Alley, big signs just telling people, this is Creaky Alley. Good morning, it's 8:04 or 8:05, somewhere around there. And I've got a guest this morning, Donnie Edwards. Good morning, Donnie. How are you doing today?
Good morning. How are you today?
Good. I pulled you away from you doing a construction job, I imagine?
Yeah, so, well, you know, anything to get out, break the normal daily routine, you know.
Well, that's good. I guess since the hurricane, there's been a lot of, you're pretty busy all the time with construction, right?
Yeah, I have not really got to, as they say, cash in on anybody else's misery. I've had my own.
Yeah,
I lost one house. I live in North Star Village, and we had really incredible winds, and I lost one house completely brand new. It was 3 days old. And my own house I lived in, we lost most of the roof. So I've been busy working on my own stuff.
All right, well, it'll give you a chance to get up here. Now, you wrote a song though about the hurricane. Now, you have a band too. You kind of multifaceted fellow. You got a band, Groundsea, and you got another new band called the Harmony Dem.
Right. Well, I wrote Wind Screams On for Groundsea, and the basic idea was it started to germinate in my mind right after the storm. But basically the feeling that the wind, once you've heard that wind and you've been involved with it, that you feel that you'll never really forget it. And late at night, just when you're about to go to bed, you start having feelings about it again, wondering if it's going to come back.
Well, let's listen to the tune, and we'll come back and talk to you again in a second. Listen to your song, The Wind Screams On.
Hello, Mom, it's your son. Remember all the work that I done. The leaves are gone, it's a time of strife. I still thank God for life. And the wind keeps screaming through my head. Hear it every night when I go to bed. And I think I hear the echo till I'm dead. Got a good life, started on my own, but they never let me call it home. One thing I'm proud to say, I love the friends I made along the way. And the wind keeps screaming through my head. Hear it every night when I go to bed. And I think I hear the echo till I'm dead. Hope returns with the sunshine. Bird sings a song, help me change my mind. Out on the ocean there's a new Groundsea. Think it back the way they used to be. And the wind keeps screaming through my head. Hear it every night when I go to bed. And I think I hear the echo till I'm dead. That I done. The leaves are gone, it's a time of strife. I still thank God for life. And the wind keeps screaming through my head. Hear it every night when I go to bed. And I think I'll hear the echo till I'm dead. And I think I'll hear the echo. Hear the echo. Hear the echo. Started on my own, just never let me call this home. One thing I'm proud to say, I love the friends I made along the way. And the wind keeps screaming through my head. Hear it every night when I go to bed. And I think I hear the echo till I'm dead. And I think I'll hear the echo. Hear the echo. Hear the echo.
All right, Don, I just mentioned this while we're sitting here talking, while in between, while the record's playing, how much, to me, your voice sounds like Ricky Nelson on there.
Well, that makes me feel good, and I certainly like Ricky.
Oh, let's see. We're going to. You're my first guest, by the way. You're my debut guest. Going to have guests up here. I'm going to have every kind of person. Now, you're a songwriter into music, but over the next period of time, we're going to have anybody. We're going to have taxi drivers.
I definitely in anybody.
Okay, which side of this tape?
We want the studio side. Okay.
Studio side. Okay. All right. Well, as I said, you have the rock band Groundsea, and are you still active with them?
Oh yes, we're real active. In fact, we put more time into practicing now, so we sound better rather than go out and play all the time. But we choose our venue, and we're definitely real serious.
Good. What about the new band?
Okay, Harmony Dem is what what I'm really right now interested in talking about, because we're out looking for some gigs for. It's kind of a light, easy listening type of music. It's harmony. It's a lot of traditional music and spiritual music, and I really enjoy. I've always kind of had a feeling for this type of music. And
is it like gospel or?
It's gospel and also traditional, like American, almost like folk music and harmony. Mm-hmm. And Polly Watts and Fred Watts, who are. They've been
involved with the Oktoberfest from the beginning.
Absolutely, and they're both very talented. It wasn't until this year that we really got together, and have found it really clicks for us to, just to have fun. So we are out, campaigning, looking for gigs that like a nice band that sounds good for fun. We're not really in it too much for the money.
Well, now you said that the first one you just recorded on a home 4-track tape recorder. It's an awfully good sounding production for a home.
Yes.
Thing. And this other tape we're going to listen to is done in the studio.
Yes, this is done at Turtle Point Studio, John Johnson's studio, and it's a song called "We Are One Family," which is a basic idea that I've had in my writing a lot. That really all people are related, and that we should try to act that way.
Well, let's give it a listen. Here we go. This is Harmony Dem, which is Donnie Edwards and Fred and Polly Watts. Well, it's going to be coming up here any second, I'm sure.
Gee, I'm not ready.
Here we go. Here we go.
One family tree. God spread us throughout this land, but we're all one family of man. We are one family, all from one family tree. God spread us throughout this land, but we're all one family of man. Like a river that flows to the sea, no one lives their life independently. We're all brothers and sisters. Why can't you see that we're all one family of man? Yes, we're all one family of man. One family of man, walking hand in hand. It's God's plan. One family of man. One family of man, walking hand in hand. It's God's plan. One family of man. We are one family, all from one family tree. God spread us throughout this land, but we're all one family of man. We are one family, all from one family tree. God spread us throughout this land, but we're all one family of man. Like a river that flows to the sea, no one lives his life independently. We're all brothers and sisters. Can't you see that we're all one family of man? Yes, we're all one family of man. One family of man, walking hand in hand. It's God's plan. family of man, one family of man, walking hand in hand. It's God's plan, one family of man.
All right, one family. I guess that's one family of man.
One family of man, yes.
All right. What? Now you wrote that song.
Yeah, I wrote that more or less for this group, and also it's being used in Tennessee. There's a spiritual group that I sent it to, and they're friends of mine, and they are playing it also. I'd like to mention Mike Greaves is playing bass on that song. Yeah, I forgot to mention him.
Okay. You said you made the bass yourself too, so you also you make musical instruments.
Right, I did make Mike's bass, and it was fun to do, and and he's had artwork put on it, and it's really quite a nice instrument. Really.
Well, how long you been here in St. Thomas? You've been here a long time.
This is my 23rd year, and I've lived here over half my life, and probably going to be here. If there's a few more days left, or whatever, I will be here before the end.
Yeah, well, that's good. Now you have a family here as well.
Yes,
your
my wife
and children.
Susan, and 2 children, Ginny and Kitty.
What other interest do you have? I mean, but it seems as though you're busy doing something all the time. You do the construction. You have the 2 bands you work in. You make musical instruments. What other interest do you have?
Well, I would have to say that probably the surfing is one of the reasons I originally stayed here, is because when I first came here, there were no other surfers, and I went out to the north side and kind of looked out there and said, my goodness, beautiful waves and nobody here. There had been rumors of other people had been here, but there was nobody at the time, and that kind of got me, gave me an interest I could stick with. And from that, I've kind of branched out. I'm really interested in trying to clean up the north side and help with the pollution problems. And we have a group. I'm a vice president of the Friends of Hull Bay, and that's a group of people that are just basically trying to take on the small problem of it's not a small problem, but the smaller scope
that small
of the problem.
picture, that one part of the
one
problem
part.
that involves Hull Bay.
Exactly.
Well, you've got to start somewhere. I mean, that's the thing. If you try and clean everything at once, you're going to be overwhelmed. But if you can do it bit by bit, you can get something done in the end.
The whole island's problem is kind of overwhelming to me, but it seems to me that we've gotten a lot of people, and a lot of people have been really impressed with the work we have done down there, because it is kind of like shows us of something that's probably coming along more and more as the years go by, that people are going to have to get actually involved and push from behind the politicians into doing some of the work that needs to be done.
Well, how large a group is it?
Well, we have a membership. I think it's about 200. And then, of course, like in most groups like that, you have a kind of a core group that does most of the work. But we've been building we have a newsletter that comes out. Gary Schluter, who is our secretary, puts out a newsletter. And we are interested in trying to gain more votes to be able to put into any issue that we might want to,
Well, do you attend public hearings and you do work on that basis? Do you do?
Well, me personally, I really don't. I get overwhelmed by downtown scene. I find it, just a bit. Nobody wants to listen to me. So basically, I sit back over there. But we do have representatives that are more interested in it. Yes.
The group has people that come to the hearings and has input to the legislators.
Absolutely.
Well, let's have a couple of messages and listen to a tune, and we'll come back and talk with Donnie Edwards again in just a moment. Tradewinds Food Company, importers of the finest meats in the Virgin Islands, are happy to announce... Okay, Jump! That's from the Pointer Sisters. My guest this morning, Donnie Edwards. We were speaking before about the Hull Bay, Friends of Hull Bay. You also mentioned briefly about your surfing. You have a meeting coming up with the Friends of Hull Bay?
Right, the Friends of Hull Bay. That's all usually, and we've been kind of off for a couple of months or two since the storm, but I want to announce to anybody that's interested that it's the first Monday in every month, and this month it'll be February 5th. It's at 6 o'clock down at Hull Bay at the Hideaway.
Okay, now what about the surfing? What's going on in surfing here? Are you going to have another meet coming up soon?
Well, we try to sponsor some of the younger kids to go off island and become involved in competition if they so desire. And every year, the Northside Wave Riders, we have normally two different meets. And from there, we've sent people to all South America, Puerto Rico, the States, and just normally it's kind of to help the younger people get a chance to compete on a national level.
All right. Well, I want to thank you for coming up. I know you got a busy schedule, rebuilding your house and putting together 2 bands and doing the other stuff. You're raising a family. But I'd like to thank you for coming up and joining us today.
I appreciate it. It's real nice of you having me.
All right, I want to play one more tune. This is from with Groundsea. This is one called Low Riding USA. What's that about? What's that?
Well, basically, that's about, let's say you're in St. Thomas and you've been here without getting off the island for a long time, and you kind of get that feeling you'd like to get out on a long stretch of that supreme A1 highways of the United States in a big American car where you're sitting down low and your feet are way out and you're comfortable and you let that thing go and you listen to the radio.
All right, well, let's listen to the radio right now. Let's listen to this song from Donnie Edwards and Groundsea, and it's called... Are we still here? Yes, we're still here. I ran the other room to get my weather set up. I got to do a weather radar report here. Donnie, I want to thank you for coming up and bringing your tunes up, and I want to wish you the best of luck with the 2 bands and with everything else, and getting your house rebuilt. And when you finish with that, you can come fix my roof.
All right, thanks a lot. Appreciate you having me up here, and you made me feel real comfortable.
Okay, good. Well, thanks again for coming, and maybe we'll see you around. Thanks again. Bye-bye.
It's time now for the Radio 1 Sailor.